Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 216. I'm your host, as always. I'm Dan. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Samson. Samson, we're getting ever so close to the holiday season. Are you ready for it?
Oh, ho, 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 ho. I am so ready for it, Dan. I think for the Christmas episode, I'll probably get a nice mug with some warm liquid in it, and maybe I'll get my Santa hat ready.
Yeah, I think I'll get my Santa hat for sure. I think so as well. I think so as well. This is going to be a fun one. We've got two big games. One big game of the big 4 or 5 that was going to come out in the fall has come out. It's Thief VR. And then we have Men in Black as well, which is definitely a game that kind of came out of nowhere. And it's actually decent. It's actually decent. So we're going to be talking
It's probably how people felt going to see it in the movie theaters.
Probably, yeah. Like, this doesn't look that great. And then they watched it. Actually, I think the movie is still better than the game, to be honest with you. But two kind of solid entries, but in their own right, and not flawless at the same time as well. So it kind of rounds off this excellent fall that we've had. We had a great fall in Quest VR, shall we say, in general. And we've had Arcane Age, we've had Star Wars Mixed Reality, we've had Reach, we've had Thief, we've had Deadpool, and we've had Dungeons and Dragons Demio. The list goes on. The list goes on.
And more my speed. There's been even more.
Yeah.
Luminous.
Yeah, Luminous on the PSVR 2 was a big one for sure. Deadly Delivery just came out. I haven't played it, but
it's got a lot of reviews.
A lot of people playing it. In fact, on the review front, it's doing better than Thief VR and Men in Black, at least on the review front, which I'm not super surprised of. Definitely for Men in Black, I'm not surprised at all. But with Thief, maybe not so. But it looks like a really fun multiplayer on that Phasmophobia vibe, as we spoke about before. So lots to do this holiday season for a lot of people. If you haven't picked up any of the games that we've been talking about over the last 2 months, then now's your chance to pick one of them and be that one as the game for Christmas time.
There is a game for everybody out there.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Nostalgia, multiplayer.
Yep.
I guess Men in Black and Thief kind of both hit nostalgia. The different types of nostalgia there.
Different types.
I'd say.
Different types.
Yeah. Then there's Deadpool.
And there's Deadpool, exactly. Okay, lots to talk about, Samson. So
yep, sorry.
We gotta just dive right in. I mean, let's do a real quick housekeeping here, Samson. Real quick one.
Housekeeping.
Discord, there's a link right below. Thanks everyone for submitting your game of the year. I posted a Google form over the last 3 episodes, and we had quite a lot of responses as well. Great to see those picks. You will find out next week what our VR, or what the community has decided for their VR game of the year, as well as ours, as well as like other categories that we put in there, like surprising hidden gem. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking through the list of people's votes, and especially in the hidden gem and surprising category, there was a lot of games in there actually not heard of, a lot of games that looked very interesting to me. So we will discuss that more next week, but I just want to say thank you.
Some true hidden gems there.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for submitting that form. It seems like a great idea, which we'll probably do next time. But if you haven't joined the Discord already, it's a really good community, and it's completely free to join.
Come on down.
We have a lot of Walkabout players in there. I've seen that from the voting as well. But we've got Healing Entree, who does the Walkabout tournament on a weekly basis as well. And also, Samson, you've been doing your Walkabout Sundays. We've got Cobalt Dave, who does Walkabout Thursdays, if you want to play in there. And we've had a few folks in there as well playing the new Alice in Wonderland course.
Adventures.
Right. I didn't write that down, so that's why I got it wrong. And then as comments go, you can comment to us at letstalkoculus@gmail.com, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Discord as well. There's an episode discussion channel in there. Just one comment to mention for today, because last week we talked about a bit of Spotify Unwrapped, finding out what the podcast stats were. And Samson, quick comment. You want to read that out?
Yeah, I think there might have been one more comment on this same episode too with a minutes number. I saw it earlier, but this one comes from Andy on LTO 215. 3,122 minutes. Top 2% of the show. Rock on.
Nice. I'm glad you put that.
Thank you.
Posted that.
Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Top 2%. Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Samson, you are correct. I see another comment in here. Liam posted on Spotify, 25.607 minutes, top 0.5%.
Wow.
And then there was a reply from Andy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. WTF lol, did you listen to every single episode that's over 400 hours? I did. There was someone else, I can't remember, who did post in the top 0.5% as well. And it seems like the only way to do that is if you started listening to us this year and listen to every single episode, basically.
Yeah, the just whole backlog, yeah.
You went through it, which is, I'm kind of scared because I don't know what those early podcasts were like, and I'm sorry you had to sit through some of those, but maybe there's some of them were really good.
Well, a little, if you want to see a snippet of what they're like, it's like our ad break.
Yeah. Basically. I'm in a different place. Samson had a bit of a bigger beard, I think. Actually, no, I think you kind of look the same. You had the same hat on as well.
I happen to be wearing the hat, yeah.
There's another comment, Samson. I've just been looking at this. We've also got Anton. He put 3,103 minutes, top 2%, as well as the number one podcast that he listens to. So thank you so much. It was very
close to Andy this time.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Andy, Anton, Liam. Thanks for commenting as well. We always love the comments. It's something that we brought in this year for the first time. Well, we always had comments, but we always encouraged it this year.
Pushing it, yeah.
And it's always great to see. I always like the comment section just to hear what the community has to say, whether it's either praise or actually has a question or just general comments itself. It's fun to see. So definitely keep posting your comments. The next couple episodes are pre-recorded because I'm actually in the UK. So if you do comment on this episode or the other episodes,
we'll see him in 2026.
We will see. Yeah, we will see him on New Year's Day. Actually, that's going to be the first episode when we're going to have recorded after reading comments. So just keep that in mind because we won't read comments in the next 2 episodes. Samson, that's the quick housekeeping. Let's get straight into the show. Let's start off. Okay, we've got a few games. Thief VR. We're going to talk about that quite a lot. Samson, you've been playing / watching Ajax. Is it Ajax the Powerful or Ajax the Powerful?
Ajax, okay. I believe.
I say Ajax because that's how the soccer team from Amsterdam is spelled and pronounced. That's why.
Right.
So I always see it and read Ajax, but Ajax the Powerful. And then also we've got Men in Black, and also we've got the Upload VR Winter Showcase, which I totally forgot about, to be honest. And it seems like the Quest 4 is coming next year now. So
it did creep up.
Yeah. So we've got things to talk about. Let's start off with Thief.
Well, 2027.
Yeah, potentially. Well, let's start off with Thief VR, Samson. Did you manage to get into it at all? You didn't manage to play this one yet? No. Did you buy it? Did you get it pre-ordered or anything like that?
I had it pre-ordered. I don't know that I've installed it yet, so I guess I'm still up for a refund if I need.
Well, you remember you got up to 2 hours to do that.
No, not on PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
until you install.
Yeah, fair enough. Is this now or never? Okay, so let's talk about Thief, and I just want to start off by saying that, you know, this game was a game that I was actually quite excited for when it was announced and when we had the MetaQuest gameplay revealed as well. But to be honest, upon release of this last week, I actually wasn't in the mood to play it at all. It's Christmas time. This is a very dark game. It'll be one that I'd be in the mood to like maybe a month ago or so, or maybe in a couple months or next month or so. But yeah, I just wanted tell you my state of mind going into it. I was not in the mood to play this, and the only reason why I played it was for the podcast, to be honest. So that's how I felt going on.
Push through.
Yeah, so just want to preface what my thoughts are like, my mentality going into the game. Sometimes when you go in, you're super excited and you have the best time. Sometimes you go in and you feel like, I don't really want to play this game. There's a lot of jank at the start and all that stuff, and you really try and push through it just for this podcast. So I just want to say that to everyone so they know how to view my opinion on this game. But before, just a quick facts, it's going to be $30 USD. It's out now. The developer is Maze Theory, who put out Infinite Inside was their last game, which was the mixed reality puzzle game, which I did start, but I never got too much into it. And Peaky Blinders, which is another game, which I did start, but also did not get too much into it. But they've done it quite a bit.
Can you give us a nice Peaky Blinders accent?
No, I can't. No, it's Birmingham. That's Birmingham accent. The Birmingham accent is funny because I live like 40 minutes north of Birmingham, but yeah, it's I don't want to try. Not
so the accent didn't make it that far. How far? Like 20 minutes?
Yeah, to 40 minutes. 40-minute drive, but probably like 20 minutes and then it stops. Basically, yeah, pretty much. The idea of the game, so just to give you a preface here, so your name is Magpie, you're a female thief, a trained thief, shall we say, who works for Cassandra, who, I don't really know what her like role is, but she's the one who assigns you missions, basically. You also later on gain a mechanical eye, which they did show in like the trailers and the reveals, but I completely forgot. But that mechanical eye is voiced by Garrett, who is the original thief from the flat screen games, and is voiced by the original voice actor as well.
Wow.
And if you look,
could you tell? Were you?
I actually didn't. So this is actually, I should have said this as well. I haven't played the other Thief games. I haven't played the reboot. Okay, I haven't played the original. I know of them, but I never played them. So I don't have that kind of nostalgia for it as well. So I'm really going in, no nostalgia, really can't be bothered to play this game right now. So I'm in the perfect frame of mind. If you look at the Thief poster, actually, Magpie, who is the obviously protagonist and is on the cover, she has a green eye right in the front, and that's basically the mechanical eye, which I never noticed until I obviously played it, and I was like, that's what it is. But something supernatural is going on in this world. You know, it feels very kind of like olden times, medieval, but you're reading letters, and something's going on. I don't know what it is. Something evil's cooking up. I'm on mission 5. I've done 4 missions in total, but I still don't really exactly know what's happening. Before each mission, it says like 5 days before the blood moon, 4 days before the blood moon, 3 days before the blood moon.
Must be a big event.
Yeah, I know. Maybe a couple more days away before finding out what is happening. But right now, unless I've just been like, just completely ignored the story here. But yeah, I don't know what evil's happening, but something supernatural is going on, in my opinion. It might not be supernatural, but I think that's what's happening. So let's talk about the mission outlines. So the game, now I've done so many missions, the game is kind of the same each time. Every mission is kind of the same in terms of the outline, shall we say. So you have one major item that you need to steal, and you have to go to an environment where most likely there's an outdoor area first. You got to find your way inside that building somehow. And there's many different entrances, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And then eventually you can find that item. And then once you find it, you have to get out. And every time when you get out, there's always way more guards than when you kind of came in as well and such, yeah.
They're not usually alerted though, right?
No.
If you're successful. Yeah.
No, not.
So it seems pretty linear in like what you have to achieve.
Yeah.
But you can kind of go about it in a kind of like a Hitman, like in a different way.
I would say it's like a Hitman, but maybe not as free as Hitman, to be honest. But I don't know.
Old Hitmans.
Yeah, exactly, the old Hitman games. This is a classic game, Samson, of where if you played the first hour or 90 minutes of it, you would think it's a pretty bad game and very boring and all that stuff. And it's a classic one where if I had recorded this pod after I played the prologue and the first mission, and maybe a bit of the second mission as well, I would have probably been like, yeah, this game is not that great. It has a lot of VR jank. It's so dark, and you can't
Like
even.
what kind of jank?
Um, what kind of jank? Jank in terms of like sometimes you're trying to climb and then you're falling because you're trying to grab on the item, but it doesn't let you grab. One time I had to grab on a rope and I couldn't grab the rope at all. So I just found a different way to kind of get through, even though the rope was chalked off, so it was meant to be you're meant to be grabbing it.
Grabbable.
Sometimes door handles don't open. It's like very like jankiness in that case. Not in terms of like, oh, this is very buggy and it's simply just not working. It's just the way like some of the mechanics is like you grab
Some
the
interactions
door handle and
failing.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes. The combat is absolutely awful, like absolutely awful. When you do engage with it, like the guards basically have 3 moves and they do the same moves every single time. So it's very easy to parry, and then once you parry, I think twice or 3 times, then you can just hit them on the head, and then they fall asleep. Essentially,
you're not meant to be in those scenarios, though. I imagine, right?
No, you're not.
Okay.
And it's really easy to get by those guards. So at some point there's like, there's like a room full of 2 or 3 guards and you're like, why would I sneak around here? I could just kind of walk across. It's way easier, and if they see me I could block them 3 times. And it was so funny, once I had 2 guards come at me.
But you get achievements for sneaking.
You do, yeah. So we'll get to that. But what I'm kind of saying is that if I played the first 90 minutes, I'd find it a bit boring. I know you get achievements to sneak, but if the guards are so kind of stupid or kind of really easy, it kind of defeats the purpose. It's like, it kind of removes the tension, shall I say? But Samson, now
you gotta immerse yourself more. You gotta lean in.
You do. I understand that for sure, and I have done that for other games. But remember, this is how I felt going in. I was not really in the mood, right?
Yeah.
However, Samson, now I'm like 4 or 5 missions in. It's a lot of fun.
How long's each mission?
Not long. It's
not Deadpool length.
I would say 30 minutes long. To be honest. I don't know how long this game is from my own experience, but just after doing a quick Google search, it seems to be like 5 hours or so, 5-6 hours. So it's not like a super long game at all, but each mission, it feels like a 30-minute game to be, and it sort of depends. Like you could stay in that mission for a long time trying to find all the secrets and all that stuff. But if you're
like me playing Hitman,
if you're just
really trying to take my time,
if you're just trying to go get the item and get out, then probably 30 minutes to be honest. But yeah, so Samson, that my initial thoughts is like, what on earth is this? I don't like this at all. But my gosh, I was so wrong. As I'm playing this game, it gets better and better and better.
So it grew on you.
Yeah, and it's because of how the levels just leveled up. Like the levels at the start were very dumb, and probably by design, but I would say a little bit too dumb. Kind of put me off a little bit. But once it gets more and more in depth, there's more characters on screen. There's more people that you need to kind of evade. Then it gets really good. So of course, the combat still sucks. There's nothing to do with with that. But like you said, it's a stealth game at heart, and you're trying to avoid the combat. And the best thing about it is that with the combat side of things is that it was really taking me away from the experience because the enemies were so easy to get by. But then they started incorporating big enemies that as soon as they see, first of all, you can't knock them out. But if they see you and they hit you, you're dead in one shot because they have these big axes and such. And then it becomes good because it's like, I really cannot be seen here.
Yeah, it's higher
high stakes tension.
Higher stakes, yeah.
Yeah.
What? How's it compared to like Assassin's Creed combat?
Oh, Assassin's Creed combat is slightly better. But this is like, it's not like you have a sword or anything like that. You have I actually forget what it's called, but I will just call it like a baton that you have. So you can kind of deflect and parry, and then you can hit them. And then you also have this bow and arrow, which is really cool, actually. You have a bow and arrow, which you can change to different arrows. So you have regular arrow, You have a blunt arrow if you wanted to just knock them out rather than kill them. You have a water arrow
I thought I got him high.
You have a water arrow, a fire arrow. Water arrow is good to like put out fires, kill the light. Fire arrow is to burn, shall we say, and also to cause distraction as well. And then you've also got a rope arrow, which have I used that much? I don't remember, but yeah. So you have those kind of different arrows, and you definitely use them often. To be honest, especially from afar, it's great to take the guards out and such. But yeah, in the end of the day, you can play the game however you want. If you want to go in and try and kill everybody, which I advise not to do because it's like the worst part of the game. Essentially, you'll get awarded.
You could kill them stealthily, right?
Well, okay, so you've got 3 different play styles, and essentially the game rates you at the end of the mission. And the three play styles are ghosting, which is pure stealth. So you went through, you did not
no assassinations,
no hitting of guards, nothing. Then you've got thief, which is non-lethal takedowns, which is how I've played pretty much every single mission, to be honest, where I've basically knocked them out. But maybe I've only knocked out one person or something, maybe, but it'll still give me that title because I've done it once. And then you've got the opportunist, which is direct combat, which is basically you've gone in and you've killed at least one person. So you could, by killing people, the only thing that you can really do, I guess you could use your fire arrow, but I've not done that before. But one of the big grunts, as they're like coming to you, you could use your normal arrow and shoot them in the face, and that would kill them. That's the only way to kind of kill the big grunts without you can't do anything else. You can't knock them out or anything like that. But I'm usually
it's headshots.
Yeah, I'm usually the average thief, basically. But yeah, it gets very tense. The guards, the guards that you have to avoid get there's a lot of them sometimes where there's like a whole courtyard and you need to get kind of past the courtyard, but there's so many of them, and you're kind of obviously doing the classic gamer stuff of learning their movements before you kind of get past them and such. But sometimes
their patterns,
there's a lot. You'll have like a big guard moving, and then you'll have also this like light that is rotating, so you've got to time your movements with the light.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, and then you've got another guard like just standing waiting on the one side. Then you've got to get to like a gate, and you have to lockpick that gate, but you got to do it quickly before the light comes at you, because otherwise the guard. Lockpick, you have lockpicks in your bag, so you press the Y button and it opens up your inventory bag and you can grab your lockpicks, and then you use 2 hands. And it's a little mini game basically, and you have to move both your hands to the right areas essentially 3 times, and then it unlocks. You can only do certain locks, so there are like basically any locks that look like a normal keyhole you can't lockpick. You need to find keys for them, but any other ones you can lockpick as well. So sometimes you can lockpick, sometimes there's keys, sometimes there's so one of the missions I remember doing, you had this whole area where there was so many treasures, but they were all hidden behind keys. And I didn't bother getting any of them, but you can, because I was like, I'm not going to spend here trying to find where all these keys are. But obviously there's a lot of keys inside this game, or inside these levels. So you can really get granular with it and try and get every single collectible. And you can pick up anything. Like you can pick up any item that you see, you can store it, and then you get coins for it. You don't have to do that. It's not really a big deal to do that. Like I said, you could just go in, find the main thing, and get out. And
you can loot, right?
Yeah. So that's what I mean with looting. You'd just be picking up everything and just kind of, you can, as the guards are moving, you could just swipe stuff from their like satchels or swipe the key.
That sounds dangerous, Dan.
It does. One of them, like, it was a big grunt, and he was walking around, and as I was like right behind him, and then he turned 90 degrees, but he didn't turn 180 degrees because I was right behind him. So he didn't see me. So I went backwards a little bit, and then he turned back and then just continued walking, and then I grabbed the key. So very tense. Very, very tense. But this might be, to be honest, because I haven't played many, probably one of the best stealth games I've played in VR, I would say. It just kind of does it right. Once you get the hang of it and this game kind of matures as you continue, it becomes really, really tense, really exciting. My palms were sweating constantly. With
Were your knees, arms spaghetti?
knees definitely, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
for sure. But yeah, but also, so then let me talk about the mechanical eye part. This game gets way better once you get the mechanical eye. So you have your character Magpie. She narrates as you're going along, just like Deadpool would be, or the character from Ghost Town, who I forget the name of. So she narrates as you're kind of going around as first person, and she's okay. It's all right, you know. It's a classic like gamer narration of like obvious things that she's kind of saying. But then there's one time when you pick up the mechanical eye, which you find in the second mission, I believe. And once you get the mechanical eye and it fixes onto you,
Then you can see.
you can still see before, but you can see a little bit. You can see clearer, shall I say? But it's voiced by Garrett, obviously the original thief, and his whole voice acting. Garrett's the character, but his whole voice acting and what he says, like the sarcasm and the dark humor that he brings to it, is just brings that depth that you really needed in that game to really enjoy yourself as you're sneaking around in kind of pure darkness and such. It also gives you some temporary
It's like
help.
a companion.
Yeah, it's like detective mode, so you can find out where you need to go next or try and figure out where these keys are, but it's only for a temporary time, so it's not like you can keep it locked at all times. But it's nice to have him by my side, shall I say, just to get something, just to have someone else talking whilst we're going through. But it is fun. There are some interesting immersion habits. So,
all right, go on.
So they have the ability to, you have to turn this on in the settings, but if there's like a candle light and such, you can obviously use your fingers to kind of put out the light so it gets darker, so you can sneak around. But you can change the immersion to blow, so you can blow on the candle lights as well, so you can blow them out with your mouth.
Did you blow?
I did. Yeah, I did, and it worked great first time. Second time I jumped back into the game, it just didn't work. I kept blowing, and I was like, "It's not working." I checked the setting; it was definitely on, and it's not working. So I just ended up.
Did you blow hard?
I blew as hard as I could, as hard as I could.
So you were blue in the face.
So you've got that, and then so you can turn that off or you can turn it on. It's up to you. So it listens to. It's got the microphone turns on. It listens to you doing the blowing. Okay. It's also like you have a magpie, an actual magpie that you can call, and it can bring you coins and such. I haven't actually used the magpie that much, but you have a little whistle, and once you grab the whistle, you can put it to your face, and then once you blow, once again, it will blow the whistle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's why I stopped using the magpie, because the blowing wasn't working. So I just
maybe you're a quiet blower.
I don't know. I blew quite hard, but so that's one level. Okay, so you can add that in if you want to, if you want that immersion. Then you can go full immersive, and something that you probably can't really do if you live with people is that full immersive is that the microphone listens to everything. So if you talk, or if there's background noise or something, the guards pick it up and can hear it, and then they'll turn around and see where you are.
So you gotta breathe quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is a really cool idea. It's probably a little bit on the gimmicky side, but at the same time, to add that level of immersion to people who would really want it for, because people will probably do that anyway whilst they're playing this game, is actually pretty cool.
It's a good option. Yeah, I love options. I love having options like that.
Yeah, for sure. Other things, the enemies. So the enemies are a little bit stupid, to be honest. As kind of mentioned earlier, they all kind of look like the same character over and over again. Sometimes one guy was walking upstairs and they kind of drift upstairs like they're from the Harry Potter books or something, like a wizard, rather than actually.
Well, you did say that there were like some. Yeah, there was.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, when you engage combat, the parry system is quite easy because they do the same thing every time. But there was one time where one of the characters itself I was just watching because I was trying to figure out their patterns, their movements and such. And he was literally turning 90 degrees every 1 second. So he'll turn 90 degrees and then turn 90 degrees and then turn 90, and it'd just be in a clockwork. And he's just standing still, and it was hilarious to watch that.
Dan, I talked to my buddy who does security, and he said that's protocol.
Fair enough. That's just the way they do it. And then people can't get away. I did have to knock him out. That was the only way I could get past him, to be fair. There's a lot of replayability as well. So you can go back to previous missions and try and play it maybe a different way. There's also, as you're about to join into the mission, there's different objectives that you can do. So there's a objective to like get as a certain like coin levels, so you got to loot as much as you can to try and hit that coin level. And then there's like a hidden relic as well that you can, so there's like bonus relics in each level that you can pick up and try and find if you wanted to.
Do you unlock any new like weapons or anything by being extra stealthy, something like this?
I haven't yet. I don't know if you do. You maybe there are like some abilities that you can kind of use, but I haven't really explored that to be honest. So I'm not too sure. And then, you know, like the levels can be played differently. So it was cool because a few levels that I did, obviously the whole idea is that most of the time you start outside and you have to get into the building and then get into the area that you need to find. But sometimes you find hidden pathways. So in this one like castle that I was in, once I was in there, at some point I found this basement level, and I found this basement, and then I found a little like hole that you could kind of drop in, so you can get really down into like the sewers. And then as I was sneaking through, I came out kind of where I started, and I was like, oh man, all that stuff to try and get into this building. If I just turned left and went into this little hole, I would have gone straight in. Yeah, but I would have no idea. So this game is so dark. It's so dark. It's ridiculous. I know it's obviously the whole idea is thief and the lighting is there and all that stuff, but it's so dark. Sometimes too dark on Quest, at least. I don't know what it's like on PSVR 2 or PC, but
it's grayed out.
Sometimes too dark. Like you can't really see like anything at times. And they did put out a
to be fair, that is pretty accurate to darkness.
It is, but there's a level, right? It's like that Game of Thrones episodes, like episode 3 of season 8, where people complained that it was so dark that they couldn't even see the actual TV episode.
I don't remember that thing, but that's hilarious.
It was like the White Walker battle. It was one of the last the last good episode, shall I say? But I actually thought that was actually fine, that episode. But a lot of people did have complaints because it was so dark. This one, I would say, is a complaint, is that sometimes it's too dark that you really can't see anything. And it's a shame because sometimes I've pushed through the darkness and found that there's entrances in there. But I don't know if that was just the idea, but it seems like it's just a tad too dark. And I wish there was like a brightness scale that you could kind of change that a little bit, just like they would do in flat screen games. But they did release a patch for the Quest already at the time of recording. And the prologue was incredibly dark, and they said they've patched that out and made that better, so it's now lighter on the Quest, and it was a specific Quest 3 problem. So I don't know if that's also just a problem that's continued throughout the game and they're just going through the levels to try and improve the lighting, but they did it on the prologue. I never went back to try the prologue, but anyways, but yeah, kind of wrapping up here. As mentioned, there's a lot of VR jank with the enemies. There's some voice narration is out of place. Actually, once I got to the top of the tower, I was heading to the top of the tower rather, and my character and Garrett was like, "Oh boy, of course we've got all the way this far, and the door is locked. Got to find a different way in." But the door wasn't locked, and I just walked in, and I was just there, like it wasn't locked. So
joke's on you.
There was some narration that was. It's happened a few times that the narration kind of doesn't make sense in the moment, but it's quite funny. But my overall thoughts, just to wrap this up, it's a stealth game. In the end of the day, you need to get past the first 90 minutes of this game, to be quite honest, to enjoy it. So if you are one of those who likes to try on Quest 3 and then potentially return it if you don't like it, get to at least the level after you get Garrett's eye before you. I don't even know if that's like 2 hours in, but just keep in mind that the level after you get Garrett's eye, that's when it finally starts to get really, good. It's very dark on the Quest 3, as I mentioned. It's a tense stealth game. The combat sucks, but that's okay because it's not meant for that, so it's absolutely fine. It's got a decent narrative. The story seems interesting, and remember, I'm not in the mood to play this at all. But that just shows you how much fun I had. Found it even though I wasn't in the mood for it at all. It really feels like Assassin's Creed and Ghost Town had a baby. I don't think it's as good as either of those two games, but maybe just maybe like a good step below Assassin's Creed, a tier below, I would say for now. But I haven't finished it yet. This is just my thoughts after 5 missions. But I must be like halfway. If the game's like 5 hours in, 5 hours long, I must be like halfway through the game at this point. So yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts. That was my big lengthy thoughts of Steve. Samson.
There you have it. So they haven't necessarily stolen the show.
No, but they did a decent attempt. A decent attempt. Absolutely. So it's a decent game for sure. I think if you're a Thief fan, you're gonna love this.
Well, I'll squeeze in a little bit of what I've done this week, and that is I watched a 15 to 20 minute VR movie. Some of my favorite content is VR movies, and I had seen Gargoyle Doyle a year or two ago.
Yeah,
which is like a 40 minute movie about two gargoyles on a cathedral, and it's pretty funny. I thought I definitely enjoyed it.
It's one of the classics.
I don't know that I'd go so far as to say that. I don't know that it gets the PlayStation Classics, green case, but I did find that there was another movie made by the same, director in person, and that is called Ajax the Powerful. And Ajax the Powerful was $4, Dan, and I was like, yeah, sure, 20-minute movie, I'm in. 15, 20 minutes. So I hopped in. And I'm going to read the little store blurb here because I don't really want to talk too much about it plot-wise, as it is, short.
And it's also a VR narrative game, so you don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, it's not a game. There's no interactions at all, by the way. So Ajax, voiced by Henry Winkler, is a foul-mouthed, double-crossing genie addicted to the human souls he collects in exchange for granting wishes to gullible humans. However, something is different about the seemingly naive little girl who's rubbed his lamp this time. For one thing, she's hired a straight-laced lawyer, voiced by Chris Parnell, to negotiate her wishes, and they might have a trick or two buried in the new contract's legalese.
Sorry, that was really funny. Something's different about the seemingly naive little girl who has rubbed his lamp this time. Okay. Okay, I guess a genie. That makes sense.
Yeah. So he's Ajax is a genie basically, and
but you had a good time with it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I will say, I felt like I had to have like 180 degrees. So like I was kind of on the couch. I would turn at times. I felt like it might have been more comfortable in a spinny chair, but I never really had to look behind me, so to say.
Right. How did it compare to Gargoyle Doyle? Did you enjoy this one a little bit more?
It's way more raunchy.
Deadpool style?
Well, Dan, I guess I'll give away that when it says he is addicted to human souls, he snorts them.
It sounds so.
It's that kind of humor. It
sounds so stupid, but hilarious in a good way.
Oh yeah, it's like over the top, silly, stupid. Yeah,
that's funny. It sounds a lot like there was a show. I don't even know if you can find it anymore, but it was called Mike Tyson's Murder Mysteries, and it was like basically Scooby Doo. It was animation, Scooby Doo, but it was basically Mike Tyson, and he voices himself as well. And It's just also so stupid.
It's absurd.
There's a talking pigeon in it as well. It's one of those, but that's what it sounds like. It sounds like one of those, which are just like, it's so stupid that it's really good in that sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you want a VR movie, cleanse your palate a little bit, you got under a half hour to do some VR.
Mm-hmm.
Ajax the Powerful.
Nice. Very, very good. All right, Samson, that will wrap up this part 1. And we'll have a little break here. And then in part 2, we'll talk about some Men in Black. So we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to LTO 216. You heard me talk about Thief VR. You heard Samson talk about Ajax the Powerful. Let's now talk about Men in Black Most Wanted. Now, this game, damn, I did not expect anything from this game. I wasn't even going to buy it, but I wanted to give a shout out to Live Open Mic for his first review on Upload VR and his recommendation.
Now I just look forward to more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder what his second.
He's really good at articulating reviews, and that's why I always enjoy when he does come on the show and discuss his games, because he's just very good at articulating, and he has good point of view, and he really spends a lot of time in these VR games, and I definitely respect his opinion on this, and it's really fun to see him in Upload VR. It's really cool. So I look forward to reading some more of his articles when he does post it out. Some quick facts again. This is $24.99. Cell shaded graphics is by CoatSync VR, who also did Jurassic World Aftermath. And
another stealth game.
Another stealth game, yeah. Another cell shaded game with this one. Cell shaded is just a great art style for VR. It works so well in Deadpool. It works so well here as well. It's not going to blow you away, but just the visuals are cool, and it's kind of timeless in a way as well. But yeah, 24.
Yeah, it works well outside VR, I'd say too.
Yeah, it does. $24.99. So once again, let me just talk about the idea of this game first. So you're Agent I and your partner is Agent L. You're essentially tasked with capturing, it seems like 7 of the most wanted aliens on Earth. Agent L has like an arm injury, so they just hang back in the car and provide you with like narration or instructions to help you go through the mission. As mentioned, the cell shaded graphics are really nice. Definitely coming from Deadpool VR, it feels like right at home in a way. For the Men in Black fans out there, you'll appreciate the small nods to the movies. Going to like the Armory, for example, you see the iconic scene of well, you don't see it, but you see like the area of where the iconic scene of Will Smith shooting the girl who's reading a book that is too complex for her. You have like a mission at the start when he's in training, and he misses all of the monsters. Because all of the monsters are doing something normal. Like the one of the monsters look like they're scary, but he's actually just sneezing, for example. He has a tissue in his hand. And it's hilarious. It's actually really one of the best scenes in it. But you go to the Armory.
It feels like a deep cut, but it's probably not, and I just don't remember anything.
No. I think you just need to watch it again. And yeah, I think I've watched that film so many times, to be honest, in the first one. Also, like the secret base entrance. So obviously when you watch the movie, when Will Smith goes into the secret base for the first time, it's just a big, like, empty, high ceiling room with a huge ass industrial fan. There's an elevator on the other side, and there's one guy just sitting there reading the paper. And you start off in there as well. Well, let's start off in there, but after you do the first initial kind of prologue, shall I say, you start off in there, which is really cool to see. And it's all those little bits, and so it's all very like nostalgic, to be honest. And let's not forget the worm aliens as well. They are absolutely hilarious. So they're the hilarious workers that are in the lab as well. or in the headquarters, shall I say. And they kind of turn up randomly in the game. So if you go to the kitchen, they're there and they start making comments or whatever. And then if you go somewhere else and then they're there again and they start making comments, and you don't need to. When it comes to the dialogue in this game, it's optional. So you can press the B button to answer them or listen to them or such, or you could just ignore them if you really wanted to, but you don't want to. The dialogue is funny every time. It's the same when you go around characters. You can press the button to talk to them, but you don't have to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of idea of the game. So let me talk to you about the mission outline, just like I did with Thief. Once again, this is very similar to Thief in terms of like the missions that I've played are kind of all the same in a way, in terms of like the skeleton of it, but obviously as you play it a little bit different. So the mission consists of detective work. So you have to try and uncover like a bunch of clues. There's some like light action areas afterwards, and then it's rinse and repeat.
How are you looking for clues? Is it like Batman where you got like a detective mode, or like...
No, you have so the detective part actually is really fun. It's actually the best part of the game. So it has you going around the place where there's a bunch of like civilians as well, and you're searching for clues with the tools that you have to. Like one of them, you have like a scanner, and you can scan for fingerprints, shall we say. You have these gloves that are kind of magnetic, so you can pull items towards you and such. And sometimes you have to use
gravity gloves. Nice.
Yeah, essentially. But the trick is here, and this is the cool thing about it, is you have to do this on the down low. So if there are any civilians, if they see you sneaking into rooms or using alien tools, or if you're just holding an alien tool, they'll know too much and be alerted. And if they do, you have to use the neuralizer. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is very fun in itself. So you pull it up, and then there's like a little kind of like mini game where you have to kind of line something up, and then it flashes them. So yeah, it erases your memory for people who don't know it from the movies. It definitely feels...
So it's okay if you get caught. You can just...
kind of is, yeah. It's not really a big deal, to be honest. It definitely feels like a Quest 2 game in a way. Like, it's very simple in the end of the day. It has VR jank to a little bit more of a frustrating level compared to the Thief game, where one of the big things... So let's say you go into a room, it will say trespassing. So if someone sees you in that room, then you kind of got caught. So you have to neuralize them.
Like Hitman does that, I think, too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So when you go into the room and it's trespassing, you want to close the door behind you. You want to shut the blinds and such. But the door is so hard to close because it goes, for some reason, both ways. So like every time you try and close the door just overshoots and goes the other way and opens the other way, and then you try and bring...
It's a double hinge door?
It's basically when you go into the... when you're outside the room, it's a one hinge door. But when you go into the room, it turns into a 2-hinge door, and the door goes wild. So you have to be really like careful to kind of close it, and it's really annoying. Where in Thief, it's sometimes you get a bit of jank.
Seems like a bug that should be fixed,
right?
I think.
In Thief, sometimes you get a little bit with the door handle. It's sometimes maybe you're trying to grab it, but you can't really grab it properly or something like that. But in terms of when you actually have grabbed it and you're opening the door and such, it's really well made. Like, you can open the door really slowly. You want to pull it back when you see the guard and all that stuff, and it works really well once you can grab hold of the handle. It goes all over the place, and it's annoying because it's something that you need to actually do. If you could just leave the door open, then it doesn't really matter. But because you have to close the door, otherwise you'll be seen for trespassing. It's quite an issue. But yeah, I'd say it's definitely maybe a bug actually with the door. I think you're right. But to be honest,
I mean, there's no two-way doors. I mean, I guess they're like a... when you go into a salon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Saloon, I guess it would be, right? Salon is for the hair.
There are collectibles in the mission too. There's a fun one where there's a specific alien that disguises themselves as like a household item. And if you move close to it too quickly, it scurries away. So every time you hear the noise of like in a room, you could hear like the alien, you have to sneak up on it and then grab the mug, and then you can have like a collectible collection back at your home base. So once you've done the detective parts, the action parts are actually pretty simple. You have various missions that you can upgrade as you go along with your gun that you have. And to be honest, it's really easy to clear enemies. they can be like shot from behind for one shot kill. There's a red weak point on the back. You can actually stealth kill them as well if you wanted to, or you could just try and shoot them. And it doesn't look like you have a limit on bullets. It's like unlimited ammo. You just have to reload, but it's pretty straightforward.
What's reloading like?
You just flick your wrist down, back up, and
flick a wrist.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. But that's kind of the worst part. But I think a lot of people, if they went into this game expecting like a good game, which they really shouldn't, they might be really disappointed. But if they go in expecting like just a very light-hearted game that kind of plays on this IP, and they like the movies and such, you're gonna have a fun time. Like it really reminds me. So there was a game that was on the PS2 and Xbox, on original Xbox, called Futurama, which is the Futurama game, right? And I loved that game.
I think that game's very rare now.
Yeah? Oh, right. I absolutely loved that game. And that was, once again, like kind of, cel-shaded graphics, but it kind of like the cartoon in a way. But it was very similar, where there was a little bit of like puzzling involved, or with detective part in this Mission Impossible. There was some combat, which was very straightforward, to be honest, and you just had to get through the mission with a fun little narrative, and it was just like a really enjoyable game. And this is exactly how this game feels. It feels like the PS2 Futurama.
So you're having some
VR.
fun.
I'm having some fun. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. At one point, I actually wanted to play it more. I actually played more of it than Thief at one point, but then I caught up with Thief to play more for the show, because I was actually enjoying playing this. It's like it's not, Deadpool's like way better, but it's a way big budget game, right? It's just for 25,
double the price.
Yeah, exactly. It's double the price. There's also a bit more to do.
Double mint gun.
I didn't actually love this part, but there's a mode called Invasion Mode, and Deadpool has something very similar, where it's like an arena shooter, and it's a horde mode. So you have a horde of enemies and such. And actually, Deadpool has it, and I wish Deadpool had multiplayer, because I think it would be really well. This one does have multiplayer, so you can play this like arena horde mode in multiplayer, in co-op as well, and in single player. I just played it in single player, but the horde mode is not only enemies, but also there's different things that you need to do. So there's like a capture the control point, so you have to stay in it for a certain amount of time.
Oh, there's like different game modes.
Yeah, there's one that you had to find a bunch of components and put them in different targets and such. So there are different stuff involved. And you can keep getting more credits and buying new guns. So you can get a machine gun and all that stuff and upgrade them. And then you can also, before the round starts, you could go, if you had enough coins, you can place like sentry turrets at different areas and such like that. So it's actually a bit more in depth than I thought it was going to be, and kind of like very surprising that it's even in here, that they even put this in here. But I guess they wanted maybe something multiplayer in the actual game.
Feels old school.
Yeah, itself. It's very much like the Deadpool one without multiplayer. The Deadpool one with multiplayer, but it's a lightweight version of it for sure. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it. Overall thoughts: the first couple hours or so that I've been playing has been pretty fun. Opening doors is annoying as hell, but you can get past it, but it's annoying as hell. But there's definitely some classic Quest 2 VR jank involved there. I actually enjoyed this game more than I enjoyed Jurassic World Aftermath, to be quite honest with you. It actually reminds me a lot of some nostalgic PS2 Xbox games like the Futurama, as I mentioned. And if you're a fan of the IP, it's going to be really fun to kind of play and enjoy. And that's kind of where I'm close. Like if you are a fan of Men in Black, or just have any nostalgia for it, and you do realize what the reference, or see the references and such, I would definitely check this game out. It's a fun little title. It's not crazy. It's an enjoyable experience. I'm glad I picked it up. At $25, for some people, they might want to just wait for a sale, and this will be a good $20, $15 sale item for sure. But it is only $25 at the same time. And if you just wanted a few hours of fun, and you have the nostalgia for it, I think it could be a good one to pick up. But this one, unlike Thief, which took me at least 90 minutes to almost 2 hours to really get into it, and it takes you off, this one is like, if you play the first 30 minutes, you know exactly what you're getting into. And if you really don't like it, just refund it, basically. You'll know exactly what you get into just in 30 minutes into it.
Well, Dan, I got to say, I just Googled the Men in Black because I was curious when the last thing in the IP that came out was, and apparently a new Men in Black movie is officially confirmed. So yeah,
Oh, fair.
it's apparently in the works. It hasn't started production or anything.
But it's probably not going to have Tommy Lee Jones in, and I don't want to see Will Smith in there. I want someone else in there. Get Chris Tucker in there instead.
I don't really care. I didn't realize there were 4 others, though. I didn't realize this would be the 5th.
The first 2 are the main ones, and then I think
that's all I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. I think was 3 with Will Smith as well. I think it was. Yeah, I've never seen 3. But it came out 10 years after the one before that. So, and then they came out with one with Chris Hemsworth, I remember. And I think there's comics, as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm interested.
There you have it.
I kind of want to watch the first 2 again. I might watch that over Christmas because I'm kind of in the mood. Sweet.
Are they on? They're on streaming?
Probably. Or at least they'll be on TV. It's kind of that thing. But yeah, that's Men in Black. Samson, was there anything else in terms of games that you were playing that you wanted to mention before we wrap up this part?
I'd love to. I got into Walkabout, played some with Kim again, and Guanachu and Guanachu's partner. We had a grand old time playing the Adventures in Wonderland.
Adventures in Alice in Wonderland. Nailed it.
And and we squeezed in a little race mode too. I got to submit that actually to Healing Entree.
Fair.
And then I played some Demio Dungeons and Dragons with Squashy.
Mm-hmm.
We played up to the dungeon area of the first campaign.
Yeah.
Essentially, before I had to bow out.
Very good.
And I got into some Forefront, Dan. This sort of Battlefield style game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been focusing on the medic and the engineer still, trying to just level those up. I think I have them both at level 2 right now. It's slow going, but it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah. I haven't played that for a while since it actually released, but I still have it on my Quest. I'm kind of I feel like I'd be the one to not touch it for a while until much later on, and then I jump into it and be like, yeah, here we go. This is this is way different now. This is way different, but
sure will be. It feels like that every time I get in. I actually played a map that has been in it the whole time, but I haven't been able to play it yet for some reason. It's sort of the Rush map that plays on the desert. It's in the desert. It's pretty good.
Interesting. Wait, Rush on the desert? No, I haven't played that one. I played one with islands and there was water in between and such. I remember playing that one. And I played another one where it's just like a classic Battlefield map where it was just like a big field and it had some random kind of areas that you can kind of go into. But they're the only 2 that I have played. But very good. All right, that will do for part 2. Part 3, we will talk about a couple of VR news items and then talk about the games out this week. So we'll see you then. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3 of LTO 216. We've talked about Thief VR, we've talked about Men in Black, Samson's talked about Ajax and Walkabout, Demio, Forefront. Let's talk about, before we get into the games, actually,
the future.
Yeah. Interesting news story. I just want to tap on it real quick. VR news, Meta shifts its focus again. The Quest 4 is coming. So we had news murmurs over the last few months of this year and such, where the Quest 4 had been effectively pushed out for quite a while, to be honest. It was meant to come out next year, 2026. Got completely pushed out. Meta focused their efforts on this new lightweight headset with a puck, kind of rivaling what Apple and Samsung are kind of doing, it seems like. But now it feels...
And their Quest Pro.
Yeah, and now it feels like they're shifting again. Now they're pushed that puck to 2027 and are starting work on the newest Quest 4 by leaked memos. So these two leaked memos were from Business Insider, and then Upload VR confirmed their authenticity themselves as well. So they looked at it and they kind of verified it, and now we're reading it on the story. So thank you, Upload VR.
Re-verifying it.
Yeah, reading that.
Now it's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, exactly. But the interesting part here is that very recently, Meta kind of shunned the metaverse. They've done a lot of cuts in the metaverse division in Meta, and then once they've done that, their stocks have just jumped.
Well, they said they were going to do that. They didn't just immediately do it.
Right. So they mentioned it. Stocks shot off itself, which is kind of makes sense. Like, we've been saying this on the show for a while. A lot of people are saying this online, is that Horizon Worlds, the metaverse kind of thing, is just not, doesn't feel like, at least for us, that it's what it's happening and such, as well as stuff like you've got other kind of metaverse platforms available, like VR chat, which is so much bigger, and it seems like it's just not taking off. And they have thrown a lot of money to it as well. But yeah, I'm excited that the Quest 4 is obviously getting back and running. I don't want it next year. It seems like it's looking at, according to the reports, according to what Upload VR said, it says it's probably going to be more like end of 2027, if not 2028, to be honest.
Perfect.
Which I think is perfect. But at the same time, Samson, we'll see if I get the next Quest, to be honest. Like, come 2027, 2028, Steam VR has kind of matured a little bit more. There's some that whole ecosystem has matured. I don't know. I think the Quest 4 would be a tough sell for a lot of people. It'll be like, are they going to go Quest 4? Or now with the competition with the Steam and such, depending on how much that is, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Well, the Quest 4 is coming out at least a year after the Steam frame. It'll certainly have, some capabilities, I imagine.
Yeah, it should be a better.
That it doesn't have.
And Steam are not one to like just put out another one and such. It seems like, I don't know. They might do a refresh, who's to say. But interesting stuff in general. Samson, the Upload VR showcase, or the winter showcase, was the other day, and I actually did not realize. I think we did mention it, but I completely forgot about it. But it's a very long show, and it contained a lot of items that we may have seen before, but some interesting ones in there as well. Instead of us going through the whole thing, we've already got an hour wrapped up in the show already. Was there any games that interested you, Samson, that you did want to mention?
Yeah. So one of the sponsors of this whole thing was Sharkarma?
Sure.
Sharkarma?
Sharkarma?
I don't know. Shark Arma or Shar Karma. Anyway, it's like it seemed like you're going to sort of underwater sometimes, or for maybe all of it. I don't know, some sort of video. It's basically what more content of what I want. It just looked really, really high def, immersive video. It looked kind of cool. I literally could not tell anything more than that, but I was like, ooh, that looks cool, and I just want to watch.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's coming out in early 2026, but it's the world's first cinematic volumetric movie. It's out on Quest 3 as well.
I don't know about that, but
that's what it says.
Yeah, and I'm the tallest guy in this house.
That's what it says. So it'd be I'm very intrigued by this as well. But yeah, it's out early 2026. I think that's a great shout. One of my picks here is Red Flowers Katana. This is really interesting. So this actually was a game called Red Flowers, which was in early access. There was a demo, which I actually never played it. And they've kind of rebranded the game a little bit to, instead of being like a serious samurai, you're now a ninja cat, as you are. But it's also very parkour heavy. So you're like, it kind of reminds me of the Stride games, Stride Fate and such.
What's movement? Is this another gorilla tag game you're into?
I'm looking into it. I don't know what the movement is. It doesn't really. Parkour style movement involving our best practices from previous games, climbing and bouncing, inspired by gorilla likes. Yes, yes, it is.
You're getting younger.
Honestly, I'm getting younger and more free. But yeah, they've been doing playtests and such, and it's been a whole like thing where it's been quite a serious kind of game. And now they've flipped to a cat. It's very much different, but it's got the same mechanics and everything like that. It's kind of just got a completely new type of art style to it. So that's Katana Red Flowers, and I like me my samurai stuff. Like, I'm enjoying Deadpool a lot. I like Tiger Blade a hell of a lot. So yeah, I'm into this. This actually comes out early, I think January 18th. I think it said. Back to you.
Right around the corner. Well, Dan, you sort of sold me here a little bit on Men in Black, but I'm interested.
I think you should. If you watch the movie,
just not immediately interested.
You'll enjoy it even more.
So there's a lot. I still have to finish Deadpool.
Yeah.
There's a lot to get to. This Thief, this Deadpool. There's gonna be Flight Sim soon.
Very good, very good.
But yeah, Men in Black. Yeah, I'm intrigued. And I'll rewatch the movies, and then I'll be like, oh, now I just gotta get it.
Fair. Yeah, fair. The other one I wanted to play is Street Gods. That comes out in a couple of weeks. Very much not parkour style, but very much Path of the Warrior style. Sorry, is what I was going to say. It's a roguelike, but in terms of the combat, it feels a lot like it. I don't think I want to play it right now as a game.
Graphically, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's got very cartoony graphics, and it seems you have the Thor's hammer basically, and you have the shield as well. And it seems like you could do some creative kills, that I wanted in Deadpool, but didn't actually offer. But kind of how Path of the Warrior has it. But it looks really good. But it is a roguelike, so there's so many roguelikes. I'm not sure if I want to. I definitely don't want to play this right now. But in the future, in 2026, this will be something that I'm really interested for sure.
You reminded me with that. I have to play RoboQuest more too.
That's true. But yeah, this is out soon as well. I think in the start of January.
December 18th, you say?
Yeah, but I think it actually got delayed by a couple of weeks. So I think it might be like New Year's basically. But yeah, after you.
And then my last one here is, there were a lot in there that we've already seen, but this is, as far as a new one, is Guardians Planetfall.
Oh,
and this is, I think, a new Guardians game. And it looks like in the vein of Helldivers. So you're in sort of squad. You've got to go do your mission and then extract yourself out.
Yeah, and the original Guardians was... it kind of reminded me a lot of like Halo, but it wasn't. It was more to do with a tower defense game. But like a lot of the rest of it kind of felt like Halo for some reason. But this Guardians Planetfall looks like a whole different level. The other Guardians was definitely more of a indie title. This seems like I think it's Frontline.
Got more money behind it, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. This looks like way better. It kind of looks similar to Arcane Age from the trailer and such a little bit. But yeah, I'm interested in this one too. Beauty. All right.
Should we get to the games out this week, Dan?
Yeah, go on. What is the first game out this week, Samson?
All right, I'll take the first one. Here comes the Boom Carts.
There you go.
Boom Carts is a free-to-play cross-platform kart racing game that puts players behind the wheel in chaotic, action-packed multiplayer races designed for quick pickup and play sessions. Boom Carts combines the thrill of arcade racing with the unpredictability of power-ups and traps, ensuring no two races are ever the same. You can drift around corners, launch boosts at the perfect time, and sabotage your rivals with explosive items to fight your way to the finish line.
Boom. Boom carts. Next game, Flight Unlimited. Soar across the beautiful skies in Flight Unlimited, the first full-fledged flight simulator for MetaQuest. Flight Unlimited uses advanced optimization techniques to bring console and PC quality visuals to the Quest. A AAA flight simulation physics with realistic aerodynamics, engines, and aircraft components. All forces on the aircraft are calculated based on the standard aerodynamic principles and formulas. Samson, I guess you'll be the judge of that when it comes to those console PC quality visuals on Quest.
Well, if I got to that one, I meant the Microsoft flights.
Oh, I thought you meant this one. Well, alas.
Alas, that brings us to Tin Hearts Act 1. Ho, 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 who wouldn't know? Definitely a Christmas game. Fall in love with the cute tin soldiers as you guide them through an intricate series of blocks-based puzzles set in a Dickinson. Oh, gosh, that was fun. Dickensian world. Dickensian? How do you say that, Dan?
I don't know. I think you're doing a great job, though. Keep going.
All right. You say it in a world full of dicks. With the backdrop of a heartfelt and emotional narrative story, Tin Hearts has to be the most Christmassy game that can be enjoyed by the whole family in the world of dicks. About Act 1. The journey begins in Act 1, where you will be introduced to the tiny soldiers, dressed, thank God, for the holiday. Embark on a series of carefully crafted puzzles set throughout an attic filled with whimsical toys. I wonder what shape they'll be.
I think this game's right up your alley, Samson. After you were talking about Ajax the Powerful with the girl who rubbed his lamp, I think this is right up your alley, and I think you got to play this for the show. When we come back, when we record our next proper show that's not pre-recorded, I want you to be talking about Tin Hearts.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a Christmas game.
They did explicitly say that right at the start.
Yeah, they exclaimed it.
Yeah.
They exclaimed it. Yeah.
Oh boy, that was funny. Last game, VR Giant. Step into the world of a giant. 2 players, 2 perspectives, 1 epic adventure. In VR Giants, you and a friend enter VR together. One as a tiny, agile David, the other as a towering Goliath. Solve puzzles, overcome hazards, and rescue lost sheep across deserts, glaciers, lava caves, and lush pastures. Only together you can succeed. VR Giants.
It's fun.
There were a couple other games. I think they were on early access. The Pocket Worlds game, Pocket Lands?
Yes.
That is also coming out, but I don't normally include early access games on the list, just because unless there was literally nothing coming out. And
we're a full release show.
Yeah, we're a full release show, and maybe something more after that Tin Hearts description as well. Beauty, Samson, that is it. That is our podcast.
Nice work.
Yeah, that is our podcast. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone watching. Remember, the comments that you put in, we will not read them out until the episode that comes out in the new year, which is, in fact, we're not going to read them out on that one either, because that is the Walkabout special, where we're going to be talking about all the Walkabout courses that came out in 2025. So we will actually read your comments out in the first. We'll read it out in 2026. We'll read them out next year.
In the new year.
We'll read them out next year. But thanks for everyone for listening. Thanks for everyone for watching. I've been Dan. He's been Samson.
I've been Samson.
And we will see you for the game of the year next week.